Hi, I'm Miriam Manzo, and this is MMI Design. Hi, welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my personal cottage. I'm going to now take you to, obviously, the heart of the home, the kitchen. For those of you who follow me, you know I talk about repeating design details in the flow of the house. We talk about continuity. We talk about taking advantage of dead space between the walls, and we talk a lot about how when you have beautiful bones, there's really very else little that you need to do. So this room really encompasses all of my design ethos. So if we start here, one of my most talked about design features that I've done in the past, and I've done this a few times for clients, is to use the dead space between rooms. So it can't be a supporting wall, technically, although we can make that work too. But this gets done at the design stage, the framing stage. We need to make sure that there are no posts running and that it's doubled up on either end, where we can keep this free and clear of wires, electrical, all of that stuff. So this was me taking advantage of the dead space. It's a large room, but there's really not a heck of a lot of kitchen cabinet space. So this was, again, we know I'm a collector and we know I need to show my pretty. So this was a way for me to showcase my beautiful silver platters and creamware, for the look, but also for ease. We entertain a lot of guests here. I host girls' weekends, I host family weekends, and I really wanted a collaborative cooking space where everybody felt comfortable jumping in and becoming part of the cooking fun without having to ask, where's this, where's that? So here's where all of my serveware is. So let's talk a little bit about where I saved money and where I spent money in this kitchen. We saved money. You'll see up on the ceiling, we used a bead board, and I took that same design element of the beams, which did cost quite a bit of money to have actual old wood found, cut, put together. And we actually took just a plywood now, cut it into strips, and I hand stained these and then did a whitewash on them to give us the look of old beams without the cost. You'll see in some of the furniture choices that I have, again, where I saved money. Where I spent it was on panel-ready appliances here behind me and in a frame kitchen. So here we've got our panel-ready French door refrigerator, and on the other side, I've balanced it and book matched it by doing a pantry. So I've really anchored both sides of the wall with the same look. And then I ran my cabinetry. Again, you'll see a combination of doors and drawers. I did a stainless steel countertop here. Incredibly clean. This is what they use in catering kitchens and restaurants because it does not hold bacteria. So I felt that was important here, and it was part of really the design look that I wanted. And I built this particular elevation around these windows. So again, a lot of pre-planning needs to go into this to know the location of these windows based on the size of your fridge, the size of the posts you're going to do, the size of the trim that you're going to do, the height of your counter. There's a lot of planning on paper to get this right. So here you can see, again, this is more about display. This is the focal point of the kitchen. I've gone with a stainless steel hood here. We've kept the top open for cookbooks, and again, beautiful creamware that I collect. And then here was a big splurge, was my Wolf gas stove and oven, which I absolutely love. We do a lot of cooking when we're up here, and this has been really, that's the focal point of this kitchen. And then here's another place where I saved. So the master ensuite, I used a 12 by 24 statuario tile on the floor. There was cuts. You're going to see the room's an awkward shape, so there was a lot of cuts. What I did was I actually took those cuts, which were pretty much all the same size, and I used that as a subway tile backsplash. So installed it myself. This was a great way to save money. And again, I always say the things that are hard to replace, do them right the first time. This was something that if I didn't absolutely love it, it would buy me a few years, and then it would be easy to replace that backsplash. But it's actually been here for 14 years. And now the island. So I wanted a large island. I've got my dishwasher here. I've got a microwave built below the counter. We've got storage for drawers or potatoes and all that stuff, an area for stools. And then our countertop. Again, we talk about this all the time. This is marble, you know, love it. Does it show the wear and tear? Yes, after 14 years, we're ready for a buff. But the stainless steel is showing that as well. What I love about it is that each one of these marks remind me of weekends spent with my children, weekends spent with my girlfriends. Now my children are bringing their friends over here. There's lots of cooking and laughing and wine drinking. And these are all memories. And honestly, it doesn't bother me. The warmth and beauty of marble will never get dated. And I want to talk about that for a while. So the cottage itself, this part of the cottage is 14 years old. The new part is about 12 to 13 years old. When you're using these luxurious materials that we talk about, like, again, the cashmere and silk that we've discussed, these are things that don't really go out of style. As long as you're using them in a classic way, you won't get tired of them. So I still have people coming to the cottage 14 years later who just fall in love with it, because I've mixed modern or contemporary furniture, I've mixed antiques, I've mixed French, I've mixed Canadiana, I've done a whole mumbo jumbo of everything, and it just winds up giving you such, again, a livable space that is beyond defining, and you can never really get tired of. It's just very homey. So again, saving money. We went with a pot rack up above. That helped me keep my costs down for cabinetry, while allowing me, again, to really hone in on the architecture of the space. To me, this was all about the trees, the water, the gardens behind me. I wanted to have as much view, as much window as possible. And that's really, for me, the beauty of building, is I get to decide where the windows get placed, how big they are, what they look out at. And so when I started this part of the cottage, this was where I started the design. I purposely wanted a room that wasn't square, that had angles, that had interest, and that went out to the different areas that we want to hit for that indoor-outdoor living. So much so that we actually never turn on the air conditioning here in the summertime. Instead, we open up all the doors. I've got a screened porch right off the kitchen here, which is where we spend every single meal in the summertime. As soon as the weather warms up, we are out on the screen porch, doors open, and it really extends this space and gives us that indoor-outdoor living that people talk about. So our French doors here go out to a deck. We're set up for the winter right now, but this is where our dining area would be. And then we've got a living area just off to the left. I've also got a screen door on either end of this porch that takes us to two separate decks. One deck behind me takes us to the gardens and the hot tub and back to the family room. The deck on the other side, which we'll see momentarily, takes us to the barbecue and area and pizza oven. And all these decks have stairs going down to the garden. So this little nook for me was kind of where the push-pull came in of making this not be a square room. So this antique day bed, again, a spot where I saved money, came with us from the original cottage. It was a French antique that I picked up at auction. So it saved me a lot of money, probably a third of what it would have cost me to buy a couch. Made a mattress for it. Again, it acts as a in a pinch when we have extra people sleeping. And then I really went to flea markets and again garage sales, and I picked up inexpensive tables, painted them up. We've got an IKEA table here in the center. So the idea behind this area was really Sunday afternoon watching TV behind the old Canadiana hutch. Again, this housed my china in our original cottage. Didn't want to part with it. So my TV's behind here now. We've got snacks down here. Again, a place to play games, or when it's just a couple of us, a more intimate meal as opposed to the big table. And then many Sunday afternoons are spent on this day bed just taking a nap, and it's such a beautiful view of the water. And then if we move to this area, so again here, this takes us to another deck where our pizza oven is and our barbecue, and again another outdoor seating area. So I really try to incorporate as many areas as possible. And behind me for the art, these are all pieces that my children have done. I framed them all in matching frames. And they bring me so much pleasure to look at them. Chairs, inexpensive, white vinyl. Have had them for 20 years, but I did have the table custom made. So for the length, the width that I wanted, and then we did this beautiful bench rather than having chairs all around, because again, I already owned the chairs and I couldn't get more of them when we moved to this part. And then I loved the idea of the china cabinet in the old cottage. So I've recreated a bigger one, more to scale, lots of storage at the bottom, lots of display, all my garage sale finds, my flea market finds. Again, the lights you'll see, incredibly inexpensive, all garage sale finds. I spray painted them white. Some of them were as inexpensive as $10 a piece, and then it was just a matter of some elbow grease and paint. One of the things I talk about are sight lines, and this particular piece is in the exact sight line for anybody coming to the cottage, because as you're making your way from the kitchen to the foyer, family room, or up to the bedrooms, this is what you see. And it's a little unrealistic to think that the door is always going to be closed. So I designed this piece so that it would look good from the sight line in the kitchen while still being functional. This is the laundry room that we were in, and so I needed a deep potting sink. So what I did is this piece here was taken from the old cottage. We recycled it. That way I only had to spend money on the lower. A couple of other pieces that match this you'll see on the other side in a moment. And then I went to IKEA and I got this fabulous faux stainless steel countertop, which brings the continuity in from the kitchen, and a very inexpensive subway tile. Give me a really pretty sight line without having cost a lot of money. The other thing that we did was the refrigerator from the old cottage wasn't going to work in that panel ready situation I wanted in the kitchen, so I brought it in here as our drink fridge. Again, we've highlighted some beautiful flea market and garage sale finds. And here, a simple trick, because again, this is a multifunctional room. My washer and dryer are behind these inexpensive drapes that I just pull back and then close when the machines are not in use. And again, livable luxury. Let's talk about that for a minute. When I said at the beginning that this is a state of mind, this is enjoying little indulgences every single day. There's so much beauty around us, and I don't believe that we need to live with utilitarian packaging just because that's how it's offered to us. So again, inexpensive flea market finds. These glass canisters I use to house my detergent, my dryer papers, and you'll see sprinkled around the house, I have so many little areas where I've done that. Even room freshener. We've put it in this really pretty little bottle, and that gives us our deodorant, as well as hand soap. There is so much beauty out there. To live with plastic, I think, is such a shame. One of the first things I do when I come back from the grocery store is I get rid of whatever excess packaging I don't need and have that recycled right away. You'll see that every single box for Kleenex is a pretty box. You will never find a cardboard box of Kleenex in my home. There's just, again, beautiful soap. I display them in bowls so that, again, when guests are here, they don't need to go searching for them, but it makes a beautiful display when you think of doing things in multiples. Again, livable luxury every single day. You're worth it. We're in the master ensuite. You know, always one of my favorite places. Again, it's about the architecture here. We vaulted the ceilings here. We brought the same beadboard detail that we showed you downstairs in the kitchen and foyer. And again, I did a beam detail on the ceiling. This time I painted them out, but it creates that flow of details that we always talk about. That's the beauty of really doing custom homes and bringing a designer in. Again, the room is about the architecture. We've got the beautiful double doors with a private balcony view facing the lake. The room, other than that, is really quite simple. I had this custom bed made 12 years ago in a beautiful white microfiber fabric. Most people would be afraid to use that fabric. Absolutely no reason. You can see there's, again, easy to wipe clean, and with today's technology and Krypton fabrics, never been easier to be able to use white and really live with it and love it. The floors are the same elm that we see in the rest of the cottage. Mismatched nightstands on either side, flea market art, flea market lights, again, picked up, painted. I sprayed them. Collection of creamware in my fireplace display area, and then a big, beautiful chaise downfilled as a place to read and watch some TV at night while the kids are playing video games. And then you'll see my favorite room, as always, the master ensuite bath. Let's take a look. The master ensuite. You can see from your approach in, it's actually open to the bedroom. So this was about creating a open balcony on one end of the room, and then we have a Juliet balcony here on the other end. And in the summer, we open the doors on both ends and we get this beautiful breeze through the bedroom. Again, another area we very rarely use the air conditioning because it's just so nice to feel that lake breeze flowing through the room. So vanity, I went custom here. Again, French style. You can see from the backsplash, I took my influence from French antiques and the beautiful curves. And one of the tricks I like to do, both in kitchens and bathrooms where possible, is I like to use a long handle on the drawers. This gives you the opportunity to hang a hand towel off of it without having to use towel rings, which are kind of the bane of my existence. Again, you see trays, and again, you see everyday items being put in decorative bottles. Here, the hand soap. I actually, again, a little trick I show a lot of my clients, we keep mouthwash in beautiful crystal decanters. So it's all about surrounding yourself with pretty every single day. You saw this beautiful inlay floor mosaic when you walked in. The dark trim around it is the same trim we've used here on the countertop. Now this is a Bardillo marble, one of the softest marble, and really I had a hard time finding somebody who would sell it to me for the application I wanted to use it, because they said there's no way you're going to be able to use this marble, especially at a cottage, especially with sand. It's going to get destroyed. And again, we are 12 years in. It really goes with the vibe that I wanted of having a luxurious lifestyle and home that you weren't afraid to use, though, that the inclusions of everyday life, the scratches and dents and all the things that really are what create memories, really wind up enhancing the feel and making the home feel very cozy, even though it is large and voluminous. Again, storage. We know I'm all about storage and display. So here we've got towel storage, we've got hand towels, toilet paper, whatnot, and then again you'll see display. But even the display can be functional. Again, a bowl with soap, candles, tied with a pretty ribbon so that when the electricity goes out, which we're in cottage country, it does happen often, I know where to find my candles. And then roses that have been given to me over the years that I dry and collect. Clawfoot tub, inexpensive glass shelf for, again, inexpensive dollar store jars that house bath bombs and bubble bath and whatnot. And I want to show you this door that faces the clawfoot tub. So this was something I found at a garage sale, actually an auction. And we got this door for very inexpensive, and I didn't know how I was going to use it when I bought it. I just stored it in my garage for years. And when we designed the bathroom, I thought, what a perfect place to put that. That's the water closet. I didn't want to add another window. It would have been a huge expense to add one, but I didn't want the water closet to be dark and I'd have to turn on the light every time I went into it. So by putting this little door with the beautiful glass, it allows light in while still giving privacy. Again, another reason a designer is going to figure out those details in the framing stage so that you're not tearing things apart once you figure out where your centers are. Again, we have the vaulted ceilings, we've got the faux beams, and the little light fixture again was found for very inexpensive, and I spray painted it and got the look that I want. So this is really the jewel of the bedrooms, is the master. There are places again where I saved money, where I splurged, but overall I think you'll agree the feeling of this cottage, but in particular this room and bathroom, is one of luxury, but very comfortable and livable luxury.
Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and in the comments below, let us know how we're doing and what you'd like to see. I'm Miriam Manzo.